let's see here. I'll wait till I get a couple people live chat. So, I mean, I'm not going to wait to put out the whole thing, but I will stick around for a little bit. There's a couple of you guys that have stuff here at my house. You're going to have to be patient for a little bit. I have got stones on order. I was trying to use my straight razor, pardon me, my straight razor stones for some stuff. It's not coming out. I'm not getting the finish that I want on some of those stones. So what's up, David? So remember I was showing you guys that I have a 1,000 grit stone that's chipped. That 1,000 grit stone's not working. I have that 10,000 grit stone that's got some chipping spots, some little spots in it. My other 10,000 grit stone's not perfectly flat. So I'm having a hard time. Like I tried to flatten it and it's bowed. So just letting you guys know, there's a couple of you guys, that small Sabenza I've got to redo. The finish is just not coming out the way I want. I don't think that the grits are lining up the way I want them from one type of stone to another. So I just ordered a couple stones. So I will be reaching out to those individuals, those people individually after this. I'm gonna send them some emails and text messages and stuff, but I don't like having delays, but the fact is I was trying, what's up, Bruce? I was trying to make things work, hoping that, you know, I was waiting on some money to come in and I was like, I can't do that. It's like, this isn't gonna work. Either I do it right or I just don't do it. So I put the stuff back on the shelf. So Ben Marshall, your stuff is still here. I could probably get this. Here's the thing, in the big scope of things, my only real overhead is the house. That's the only real overhead for this business. And so, you know, if I have to buy stuff occasionally, I mean, I was gonna have to buy it anyway. I just, robbing Peter to pay Paul, that's what it felt like. But the whole thing is like, I can't let things go that don't meet the standard I want. So I sharpened this yesterday and I was noticing that the finish didn't come out the way I wanted it on this blade. And I was like, yeah, I can't piecemeal stuff. And the flip side of that is I'm damaging stones I need for a different purpose. Those other stones I have are specifically for straight razors. So I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna ruin these stones and then not be able to do straight razors. And then I'm gonna have to buy 2 sets of stones instead of 1. And I was like, you know what? It's just cheaper. Just fucking order them now. So I have a new 10,000 grit on order. I have a new 1,000 grit on order, two 1,000 grits on order. And the other, that 8,000 grit that cracked. So I ordered all those. I just went ahead and took the money out of the business account and paid this. Problem is, I don't know how soon they're getting here. I did not get them from Amazon because they didn't have the ones I was looking for. So you would think, but usually they're the most compressed. That 1,000 grit that I'm using is one that I've had for a very long time. The thing is, coarser stones actually wear out faster than finer stones. And it's because they are coarser. And so the material has a tendency to break apart. There's not as much contact bonding them together. When they get finer, the smaller medium is locked in tighter and they usually last. The finer stones last a good bit longer than the coarser stones. Like 1,000 will last longer than a 220. 220 grit stone will just, it starts to come apart. Here, I've got a good example of it right here. This is a fairly coarse stone. And if you look, there's a lot of gaps in that. Let me turn it around so you can kind of see it. There's a lot of gaps in that. This is not a stone I use for knives. This is a stone I use for other stuff. That's why it's in the house here. But you can see how coarse that is. This one doesn't break down as badly because this is a silicon carbide stone, but they do have a tendency to come apart. And you can see they chip easy, stuff like that. I can't use this on knives. It's too aggressive. I use this for flattening stones, for when I had the metal blades on the weed eater, I would sharpen the weed eater blades when I actually had grass before I got to get that fake grass covered up again. I put down turf-ish stuff. It was that indoor-outdoor green carpet. I put that out there a couple years ago, and it's just broken down in the sun. I need to just tear it up and put a new layer of the weed guard stuff down, and then put up the new. It looked really good when it was done, but it's over the last few years, it's just broken down in the sun. So yes, I do know it looks like shit in my yard, but no one goes in my yard. That's my place of business. No one really goes in there. So yeah, but that's it. Like I said, guys, if you've got if you've got items here at my house, anything that's in S35VN, S35VN, S90V, what's the other one I usually do on? Basically, if it's not like something hard like S30, I like the way the S30, S90V I can do on the diamonds, but I like the edge on the aluminum oxide a little bit better. It's a crisper edge. It likes the aluminum oxides. So, anything in BD1, BD1N, any of those knives, if you're sending them to me, there might be a few days delay. I'm waiting. I haven't gotten. I placed my order, and I don't know how soon they're gonna be coming. So, it happens. It happens. You can't put stuff off. You have to do it and do it right. So, what's everybody else doing? What's on everybody else's agenda? Because right now, I hate to admit it, I can't work. It's not that I don't have work to do. I just can't work right now because, especially like even Hogue RSK. I've got stuff in there I just can't do. Because the 10,000 grit for my straight razors, I had to order a new one because I don't like, it's really bowed. It's not mounted to anything, so. Nice. Oh, here we go. You guys ready? I talked with Christian at Cerberus Knives this morning. I had enough people DM me, text me, and email me about their stuff up there. And they were like, how come you didn't put like an email? I was like, guys, they're not ready to go yet. They're just starting. They're getting their business plan together. They're getting their stuff set up. They're doing it correctly. They want everything to leave perfect. But we were talking about the fact that I will not be making handles for this knife. You guys, there is no way you could afford what I would have to. I hate making handles. I hate it. Most people are not going to pay what I would charge to make handles. So I talked to Chris, and he was like, yeah, those would be cake. He's like, all we'd need is just the example, and then we'll make the handles. He's like, we'll make them however the customer wants. He's like, when he gets back from his trip he's going on tomorrow, he and I are going to talk about it probably next week sometime and just get it figured out. And when one of them comes back from, this one was ground asymmetrically. I've got to adjust that. Anyway, when he gets back from a trip and when one of the two that I sent out to reviewers comes back, I will send him the set of handles because the green one and the tan one are out. The green one is with, the green one went to Levon at the Knife Nuts podcast, and the tan one went to Jim Skelton in Texas. So I think that's gonna be fun. I like talking to Levon. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I think I should stop making the Hornets. I am gonna make a few more. I have a few more that I have to make. I have 2 more for customers, and I have one that I've got a friend that is requesting one. And no, it's not you, Peter. After that, there's a couple I'm gonna do special out of 1095. They're gonna be a little bit thinner. They're gonna be more along the thickness of these as opposed to my typical, what do I say? My typical blade stock. I'm gonna make handles and stuff for them. I have 2 other designs. I technically have 3 other designs that I'm working on. One of them, I don't know when, but we're gonna get it released through a place called Honest EDC. I was talking with Elliot about that. So, and then I have the one that I made for Matt, which is the Warney, and I'm trying to get that design. I don't want to go throwing that one out. I'm trying to get that design released as well. I'd like to have them all. The 2 smaller ones, I'm looking at like sub 100, a lot like the Lackey price point, like Elliot did. because it's just, that's the one, hang on a second, the prototype. So this would be a good knife at the like sub $100 price point. You know, it's, man, that thing is thin and sharp. Well, you do know. What, this one? Yeah, this is a nice little bird and trout. It's a good sized little knife for working, doing fucking shit. So Elliot and I had this rendered, and then had this render done. So I'll go get the renders. Hang on. Let's go look at the renders. Well, I'm hoping to have that out sooner or later. Sooner than later. Bead blasted? But see, the lackeys aren't really bead blasted. I've got one here. I don't think they're blasted. I think they're tumbled. I think they're a blast and tumble. If you tumble it, it seals. I got two of the lackeys here. Let's look at the finish on them. Yes, I'm going to do a video about them. I already started a video about them. I'll tell you for sure. I can tell you for sure I've got it right here, and then that way you can make an informed decision, because that's part of what this channel is about. Making informed decisions. Now, I already did sharpen these. This is the black one. I don't think they're blasted. I think they are a blast and tumble. Yeah, it's a stonewash. It's not blasted. It's a blasted and then tumbled, and when you tumble it, it definitely seals that material. These, I don't think, I mean, it's D2. It's gonna rust. Well, thanks for throwing up on the floor, cat. Fucking dickhead. Cat, tiger. Get out. Tiger. Get out. I had to clean that fucking mess up. That's a lot. How did so much vomit come out of such a little cat? But yeah, D2 will patina, but that's a stonewash. It may have been a blasted, but then it's stonewash. It's a really dark stonewash, so. But, you know, what you could always do is have me, oh, that stinks, I'm gonna clean up soon. Fuck. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do this time in the morning. Yeah, 20 CV will rust, depending on the heat treat. 20 CV will rust, especially if it's blasted. Blasted opens those pores. Blasted is good on titanium, not good on steel. So the stonewash will seal that. Plus, there's always, you know, you could always just have it, you could always just send it to me, and I could do a ceramic coating or like a high polish matte finish where it's not like, I mean, it's still gonna, you know, that gunmetal, that polished gunmetal that I do. So I wish I had left these handles removable. So, but yeah, so that's the update. Like I said, guys, the stuff I have here right now, I can't work on. I did shipping yesterday. When I got to a point, I realized I was like, I can't do anything else. I can't do anything else right now. It's not coming out. I refuse to let stuff. I could easily have just been like, fucking good enough. But I don't want to do that. I don't want things to be good enough. I want them to be the way I want them. And that's just the way it is. So it makes it challenging. But like I said, proper tools for the job, and if I don't have them, then I'm just not gonna even mess around with it. So, but yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else needs to update? Oh, left a message. No, I'm even gonna get into that. Not even gonna get into that. You guys don't need to know what's going on with that. That's not a. It's not a business related thing. I do want to put soft loops. These soft loops aren't big enough. You're curious though. No, it's it's not business related, and so I'm not even gonna do it. I was talking with somebody earlier about it. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Never mind. So yeah, do it right or don't do it. What was it my grandfather always used to? There's two things my grandfather said. I told Elliot this yesterday, and you've probably heard me say it, but now that I'm treating that this is a true business, it rings in my ears a lot. And my grandfather one time told me two things that he told me that's great. He's like, do it right the first time because the second time you're doing it for free. And the other one that he always used to tell me was, and I didn't understand it until now that I'm a good bit older, your future is a blank canvas that you paint with effort. And I didn't quite, I was like, whatever, old man. But now that I see that your life is directly impacted, the course of your future is set by how much effort you're willing to put into it. If you want something, you've got to fucking work for it. That's basically what he was saying. And I just, young dumb me, didn't pick up on the nuance of that. But it rings in my ears a lot these days. Like times where I was like, oh, I could just take a break and sit on the couch, or I can do that tomorrow. Things like that. Well, this week has been a lot of that, because not so much that I just want to sit on the couch. I have got so many things to get finished before the wife gets back tomorrow. Like today, I've got to be at my daughter's school here in just about an hour and a half. I've got to be at my daughter's school, and then I'm going to be there all afternoon. So, oh, I'm excited to get him back. My family is everything, you know. That's. I used to tell people like So I picked up a mindset in Japan, and you see it. My father-in-law had it, and he worked and worked and worked even after he started becoming wealthy. I picked up a mindset where for my family to truly be first and be the most important thing, my job has to come first. So I put everything into work because I have to. That's how I provide for my family. I picked up that mindset. I treat this business like that. I was up last night, guys, no joke. I know that I said I wasn't going to get involved in the marketing and distribution, but I was up last night talking with vendors to try and get the knife released more places. Tonight, I'm probably going to do the same thing. I'm going to try and get a hold of that place that Taz sent me and talk to them about distributing the knife through them. I've talked to companies in the Balkans. I talked to a company in Russia. I don't know very much Russian. But I will tell you, yes, they went on their yearly vacation in Japan. I will tell you that Google, from my interactions with this gentleman that I was talking to in Russia at a knife shop, or knife distributor, I should say, apparently Google Translate works very well, because his texts were coming through, and he was like, Blade HQ, I haven't been able to get anyone at DLT. I have not been able to find anyone at DLT. I'm gonna just sit down this afternoon and I'm gonna try and find somebody at DLT that I can talk to. But I did talk to one of our favorite distributors, and I'm working on trying to get it on drop, where basically we could just get it offered on drop. So, you know, for so many years, I was the primary breadwinner. And right now, there's a lot of times that my wife makes more than I do at her part-time job. But then there's months that I make more than I've ever made when I was working. I've had $4,000 and $6,000 months before, between selling custom knives and stuff like that. So drop wouldn't be doing anything. It would just basically be like when they offer a branded item. Like you saw, they had the Cold Steel Outdoorsman that they're offering on drop. That would be the same thing. It's not like I'm not giving them, we're not branding it as a drop product. Because I don't want to be locked into that, because if things go badly, I can't offer it anywhere else. When you have that exclusivity where they're offered one place, well, if it doesn't do well, I really don't have an option. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it didn't do well on that website, but it did well here, here, and here. See if Portland Phoenix Knife House will carry. That's If you can get me the information, because at this point I don't. I mean, I have time right now. White Mountain knives would be dope. Yeah, Smoky Mountain Knife Works is gonna have some. I think they're gonna have like 4. They're gonna have 2 of the black, 2 of the tan. Yeah. I have no idea how big the initial run is. The Dutch company, I haven't heard anything from anybody. I haven't heard anything back. I don't even remember if I talked to, did you send me a link on to somebody? I can't remember. Can you send it to me again, Kenny? I'm sorry. For some reason it's not. Oh, by the way, that sucks about your Mordax. That sucks. I did sharpen that. Now, after you said it, I was like, oh, I remember sharpening that one. It had a screwed up tip at first. And they were like, yeah, it happens when you have to tumble it like we did. And I was like, it's not a problem. And so I fixed, Elliot's like, I can try and, I was like, nah, it'll come out in sharpening. It'll be fine. So Elliot was like, I can grind the tip back on it if you want. And I was like, nah, we're good. We're good. Not a big deal. And then it was the dark, Elliot's dark apocalyptic finish. It was a nice looking Mordax. That sucks. Hopefully it's not lost. Hopefully it will show. So right now, I'm waiting on a city inspector to come. So if I hear my doorbell ring, we're gonna have to end this, but he's supposed to be here at 10. Yeah, I hope so too. So just drop Sean's name. Like I said, Jason, if you can message me the point of contact so I don't have to look it up, that would be great. I would have greatly appreciate it. So, and then, like I said, I talked to Chris at Cerberus. He is working doing backspacers for Para 3s or Para 2s right now. Basically the paramilitary versions. He is working on doing backspacers for them. He's got other designs in the works. He's got parts coming in for his router, because if you remember, they burned up a board on their CNC router the day that I went up to film, which kind of sucked. But I mean, it happens. It just shows you that's running a small business. So they had a board burn up, and they got parts in for that. He's going on a trip today or tomorrow, and when he comes back, he's going to talk to me, and we're going to talk about how it's going to work and what their capabilities are and stuff like that. And he's like, we were talking about like offering them through me for like modifications and things like that, and then I can install them and do stuff like that with sharpening. And he basically just sent them to me from Santa Ana. Somebody tells me, hey, I need a set of scales for this. If it's one of the models that they've already got designs for, he can just mill me out a set, get them finished, send them down to me, and I install them when I do the sharpening. That way it's a one-stop thing, and then I just order the stuff from him for you guys. And I was talking to him about the handles for the sword or stonefish. Jesus. Handles for the stonefish. Basically, we're gonna do that too. I'm gonna get him a set. He's gonna make handles for stonefish. That way you're not stuck with just the G10 option. I do know a lot of people like micarta, but it's just not something that WeKnife offers. But that would be something where if your knife was with me for sharpening, or if you wanted, you could just reach out to them and say, hey, I need a set of stonefish scales in ruby red micarta, and then he just can get the parts, get them for you, and then do it. I'm going to get a set of the blue micarta scales made for this, just to see the weight difference. And then I could just put it on, like I'm keeping 2 of them. One of these will be possibly a raffle, but I'm gonna do something special with it, if I can. So, What else? What else is going on? Oh, going to USN. Oh, my nose itches. I got a mustache hair that curls up and gets in my nose. Whew. The whole thing. I want less weight in the handle. G10's kind of heavy. It's not unbalanced. It sits in your hand nice and comfortable. But the difference between that and this had a more tip. Yeah, this has more tip forward weight. This has handle weight. And so, but that's because these scales are significantly thinner. Like 2 millimeters across the entire back different. So, um, I'm probably gonna sell one of the prototypes too. I'm gonna keep one prototype and two of the productions. So anybody that's interested in one of the prototypes with the carbon fiber scales, start thinking about that because I'm gonna let one of them go. Don't know which one yet. Jason, I talked about that yesterday or earlier. The time invested in something I hate doing that I was explaining this yesterday too. If I'm not actively making money, I'm spending money. And if I'm making scales if I'm making scales myself for a set of knives that takes 4 to 6 hours, by all rights, when you reference it against what I can make if I'm sharpening, those scales should cost $400 to $600. And I can't justify charging somebody $400 to $600 when I could send them off to Christian and get a better, more even, consistent handle. Why work smarter, not harder? I would be spending money, and so I was explaining that to Luke, and he goes, "You're fucking crazy, $400 or $600 for a set of handles." I was like, "No, I'm saying that by all rights, that's what they should cost. That's what I should charge." And at this point, I've been running this business for 2 years. I can't continue to do things and undervalue the things I do. My custom knives never go for what they're worth. They're a hobby. I enjoy making the knives, but the thing is, since I took pre-orders, it took something that was a hobby into something that I was stuck with. And so now I got a handful of knives to make. I can't do it now because I can't leave the house for 20 hours straight because I have a dog and a cat, and I just can't do it right now. I have to do those when the wife comes back. So when the wife comes back, when I come back from Vegas, until my mother gets here on the 5th, I'm gonna be at the shop like 24/7 working on trying to get those sea snakes pumped out and oh, that's right, I was gonna grab those. I'll show you the design for the other knife. So, like I said, that's the prototype down here that I just showed you. And then there is its cousin, the sea snake. And this is the one I want to get released next. That's the big, I love that knife. I think it would sell really well. It's a really great design. So I've already named all of them. Sea snake, scorpion. It's probably a good chance scorpion's not gonna work. Stonefish, they all have names. So, Jason, you're behind the power curve. I'm gonna send them a set, and they're gonna render them. We already talked about this, Jason. You came in $1 late. Day late and $1 short on that one, Jason. Already talked about it. That's the plan. I'm not making scales for these knives. No. Do you know why? Because I love making knives. I like grinding knives. I like doing that stuff. I don't like the heat treat so much. I like the work of doing it. But with that, what's up, Ashton? With the fact that I like doing the work of making knives, making handles blows donkey dick. Ellie will tell you too, his least favorite thing about making a fixed blade knife is handles. I've had knives that were ground and done, and I put them off for like a week and a half, 2 weeks before I even started handles because I hate doing handles. Because one, I can't do it if Chris is in the shop. He hates the smell of composite when you're grinding it. It makes a fucking mess, second of all. Like, literally. If you follow my Instagram and go back, you'll see videos, there are pictures of me like holding a set of scales, and my arms are the same color as my watch band because I've got black. So you gotta wear a mask. You probably should be wearing a fucking Tyvek suit, but I can't. It's too hot. It gets on your skin. You itch. It sticks to your sweat. It's like working with fiberglass insulation, only worse, because it's just all over you and it sticks and it's super, super fine. And it just sucks. And no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to. No, I don't want to do it. If I can get Kristen to start making handles for my custom knives, I'll fucking do it. So, and I don't. Here's the other thing: your option is you could use wood, which is not as nasty and shit like that. But wood never fits the way you want it. Even stabilized wood, it winds up warping and it's fucked. And there's nothing good about it. There's no good handle material. You know what a good handle material is? Cut a slot down the middle and wrap it with cord. There may be something like that. There's no good handle material. They all suck. They all suck. They suck to make. You'll order stuff and it'll be curved. Like I've got plates of micarta that they didn't press right, and so they've got a curve to them. So luckily they sent them to me at twice the thickness I wanted. Yeah, but making them by hand, Ashton, that's what I'm talking about. To make them by hand out of wood, it's never gonna come out right. Got a mosquito in here. I can hear him buzzing around my ear. Yeah, you can't for them to come out flat and everything. Especially then you're gonna have to wet sand them, and the second you wet sand them, they're gonna change dimensionally. Even stabilized wood that is not supposed to absorb moisture, still will a little bit. There was a little coffee left in my cup. I was looking at I was like, why is my milk brown? And I was like, I poured it right on top of a little bit of coffee. So yeah, no, that's the stuff that's going on, guys. I got to get off of here. I have got a lot of stuff to finish up. Like I said, I apologize for a delay. I tried to push. Possibly they will. They may or they may not. It's up to them. They've been busy with design work right now. I don't know if they're going to. But like I said, tried to do stuff. Tried to, like I said in the one video, you know, I have duplicates of stuff. But yeah, it's real hard to. I just can't do it. It's just not coming out the way I want. And like I said, in the big scope of things, I'm damaging stones I need for something else. So technically, I'm ruining stones that were reserved for straight razors to do knives, and when you do that, then I'm gonna wind up having to buy 2 sets because I fuck up 2 sets of stones. So, that's funny. That's kind of what Elijah and I were saying. Problem is that, like, guys, we're at a point where I've had some people say, oh, way to copy that. We has a folder that has a blade shape, kind of similar to the horn. And so I'm getting, yeah, and I can't ruin those. So I'm just not going to sharpen anymore. I did a couple knives on them, and I looked at the deep grooves, and I'm like, I have to flatten those out. And I'm basically wasting stone that is reserved for straight razors. But at any rate, somebody fucking way to copy the Wii folder, whatever it is, the one that looks really similar in blade shape. And I'm like, guys, I've been making this knife for 3 years. The production, the custom ones have been out for 3 years. I don't know how long he's been designing that folder, but this has been out. My first one of these was made 3 years ago. So I'm like, I can't say that either one of us copied anything because the fact is there's only so many blade shapes you can do before you're duplicating and things like that. And so I'm like, no, it's a completely different knife, Jason. It's a completely different knife. I'm not, you know. So somebody went on and was saying that all that blade shape looks real familiar, and Jesse, Pip Corona, Pip Corona goes on. He goes, "Yeah, looks familiar because it looks exactly like his custom ones that he makes." So, guys, I can't tell you how happy I am about this. So, like I said, Kenny, if you just make sure I've got that info, I'll go back and look. I will try to reach out to them. Like I said, city inspector is supposed to be here in about 30 minutes. So I'm gonna get off of here, and I just got an email, so that might have been them. Uh, so yeah, it's nonsense. There's only so many knife designs out there, and they're gonna start looking alike. It's I don't know. I had an analogy, but I don't want to throw it up there because I was studying about the YouTube algorithm. Apparently, some of my videos, the reason that one of the problems I have with my channel is that I put my kid in the videos when I do videos about her skating. They're like, oh, that takes you off of the relevancy list, and they drop you down in relevancy down at the bottom. As a matter of fact, I think it was Kenny that sent me that. Um, so, guys, like I said, let me get off of here. Yeah, it's some fucking horse shit. So, but like I said, I will let you guys know any developments and things like that. Keep your eyes open. If you guys know of vendors that you think would be willing to carry them, I am willing to reach out to them. Like I said, I got We Knife in contact yesterday with, and I just got a response email from Angel at We Knife. I got them in contact with Massdrop, and I don't know how that's going to work out, but that would be great if we could offer that on Massdrop. So, yeah, that's it, guys. I'm out. I gotta get this stuff done. I'll talk to y'all later. Take it easy. I love you guys. Um, Description below will have a GoFundMe. My daughter's ice skating. She competes. This will be the first competition that you're gonna see go where I'm not going to this competition this time. So my wife's gonna be held responsible for the filming of my daughter's competition. So don't expect to see that one. Nothing. I'm leaving. You'll have to catch it in on the flip side. I'm gonna make sure my wife takes it. So, guys. Oh no, I can't. I gotta take it to the show. Guys, I gotta go. I love y'all. I'll talk to you later. I will see y'all on the flip side.